Welcome everyone, join us today as we pay tribute to Kirsty MacColl, the talented singer-songwriter known for her distinctive voice and poignant lyrics, whose music touched hearts around the world. So let's dive in. Kirsty Anna MacColl, born the 10th of October 1959 in Croydon, in England. She was zodiac sign Libra. Born into a show business family, her father, the famous folk singer Ewan MacColl, was mostly absent, seeing her only on weekends, as he was in a relationship with folk artist Peggy Seeger, with whom he had a son. Kirsty was raised by her mother Jean Newlove, a dancer and choreographer, alongside her brother Hamish. Growing up in Selsdon, Croydon, she attended Park Hill Primary, Monks Hill High School, and John Newnham High School, where she took part in school plays. She was influenced by her brother Hamish's record collection, immersing herself in the music of the Beach Boys and Neil Young, which she later credited for inspiring her love of harmonies and her songwriting talent. In 1978, Kirsty joined a small band named the Drug Addicts, adopting the stage persona of Mandy Doubt. The band released a single EP on Chiswick Records, an experience Kirsty would spend much of her life trying to forget. Though often labeled a punk rock band, the Drug Addicts were more accurately described as pub rock. After submitting a few demos to Stiff Records, Kirsty was invited to audition as a solo artist. With no songs prepared, she quickly wrote "They Don't Know," which became her debut single in June 1979 and secured her a record deal. However, Kirsty quickly learned how unpredictable the music industry could be. Despite recording another single, co-written and backed by the Boomtown Rats, she was dropped from the label, and the track was shelved. Kirsty then signed with Polydor, but her promising cover of the Jerry Goffin and Carole King classic, "Keep Your Hands Off My Baby," failed to chart. However, in May 1981, she achieved her biggest hit with "There's a Guy Works Down the Chip Shop Swears He's Elvis," reaching number 14 on the UK charts. The clever upbeat song, which humorously exposed dishonesty, set the tone for a recurring theme in her songwriting career. In June 1981, Kirsty released album Desperate Character on Polydor, which included a mix of her catchy original songs and a few covers of 1960s tracks. The album failed to make an impact on the charts and remained largely unknown except to her most loyal fans. Two more singles, the original, "See That Girl," and a cover of the Beach Boys, "You Still Believe in Me," went unnoticed before Polydor decided to drop her from their label. Following a one-time collaboration with Matchbox and releasing a single with North of Watford Records, one so obscure that even her most dedicated fans have rarely seen it, Kirsty returned to Stiff Records. She quickly released "Terry Is As Tough as Marlon Brando," a standout track that deserved to be her second big hit. Success came just 2 months later, when Kirsty's rendition of Billy Bragg's "A New England" reached number 7 on the charts in December 1984. Her talent for recognizing great songs and convincing Bragg to write an additional verse for her led to the highest charting solo hit of her career. However, her follow-up single, "He's on the Beach," released 6 months later, failed to make an impact, and her second stint with Stiff Records came to an end. In 1986, Kirsty provided backing vocals for the Smiths' song "Ask," and earlier contributed to Simple Minds' 1984 album, "Sparkle in the Rain," lending her voice to tracks like "Speed Your Love to Me" and "Street Hassle." In November 1987, she reached number 2 on the charts with the Pogues on the now classic Christmas hit, "Fairy Tale of New York," which led to her joining their British and European tour in 1988, a move that she said helped her temporarily conquer her stage fright. In March 1989, Kirsty also sang backing vocals on the Happy Mondays Hallelujah EP. Having met her husband, Steve Lillywhite, during a Simple Minds session in 1983, she spent much of the latter half of the 1980s raising their 2 sons, Jamie and Louis, while making occasional appearances as a backing singer for several leading artists of the time. In 1989, Kirsty rejoined Virgin to release Kite, widely regarded as her finest album. The album, which debuted at number 34 on the charts, was preceded by the minor hit, "Free World," in February and followed by a second hit, "Ray Davies Days," which reached number 12. She also recorded "Miss Otis Regrets" with the Pogues for the AIDS awareness project Red Hot and Blue. During this time, Kirsty also appeared on the British TV sketch show, French and Saunders, performing her songs and collaborating with comedy duo Raw Sex on a rendition of "Something Stupid." In 1991, Kirsty collaborated with Johnny Marr of the Smiths on her album, Electric Landlady. The album was introduced by the dance hit, "Walking Down Madison," and showcased Kirsty's first full exploration of Latin music, inspired by her earlier work with David Byrne. Despite the album's success, including the popular track, "My Affair," Kirsty faced setbacks, including being dropped by Virgin and the end of her marriage to Steve Lillywhite. Not giving up, Kirsty made a comeback in 1994 with Titanic Days, an album she referred to as her sad divorce album. The lead single was Angel, Floating Round This House. The album also featured Soho Square, a song that would become one of her signature tracks and inspire future tributes. Kirsty later admitted that, had she known its impact, she would have included it on her 1995 retrospective, Galore. Galore was a major hit, featuring 2 new tracks, Caroline, a response to Dolly Parton's Jolene, and a cover of Lou Reed's Perfect Day, performed with Evan Dando of the Lemonheads. The album climbed to number 6 on the UK chart and remained there for 27 weeks. After 1995, Kirsty's presence in the public eye diminished, and she even considered leaving the music industry. During this period, she revitalized her career by touring extensively in South America and Cuba. In 1998, Hux Records released What Do Pretty Girls Do?, a compilation of BBC Radio 1 live sessions from 1989 to 1995, featuring Billy Bragg on 2 tracks. In early 1999, Kirsty fell in love with musician James Knight and began crafting new material inspired by her time in Brazil and Cuba, blending Latin rhythms with her signature lyrical flair. Describing herself as a Latin soul trapped in an English body, she recorded this new work at Pete Glenister and Dave Ruffy's studio in Bermondsey. The tracks, incorporating samples from Kirsty's extensive Cuban record collection amassed during her travels, were released as the acclaimed album, Tropical Brainstorm. Songs like Mambo de la Luna and In These Shoes introduced her to a new generation of fans who became lifelong admirers. In December 2000, Kirsty, along with her sons and her boyfriend James, took a holiday in Cozumel, Mexico. While diving at the Chancanar Reef, a protected area, a speeding powerboat entered the zone. Kirsty, spotting the boat before her sons, managed to push her 15-year-old son Jamie out of the way, with him only suffering minor injuries. Tragically, she was struck by the boat and suffered fatal chest and head injuries. Her body was returned to the UK, where she was cremated following a service at Mortlake Crematorium. The powerboat involved in the collision was owned by Carlos González Nova and operated by José Ken Yam, an employee of multimillionaire Guillermo González Nova, who was on board with his family. Witnesses claimed the boat was going much faster than the 1-knot speed stated by González Nova. Ken Yam was convicted of culpable homicide and sentenced to 2 years and 10 months in prison, but he paid a fine of 1,034 pesos, about $90, instead. He was also ordered to pay $2,150 in restitution to Kirsty's family. Some alleged Ken Yam received money for taking the blame. Kirsty's mother Jean started the Justice for Kirsty campaign to hold those responsible accountable through British and Mexican governments. While it gained significant publicity and led to local safety measures, it did not achieve its goal of bringing the powerboat's operators to justice. And there you have it. Thank you for joining us in remembering Kirsty MacColl, a remarkable artist whose legacy continues to inspire fans and musicians alike. Though her life was cut tragically short, her voice and spirit live on through her music. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more stories on the lives of music legends. Take care and bye for now.